What's good, ladies and gentlemen? What is good? It's Monday night, July 7th. So, you know what time that is? It is the time for the Black Baseball Mixtape Podcast. I am so excited. We've got an action packed all-star everything show for you tonight. Before we get into everything, before we bring on our amazing group of Monday Night BBM panelists, you know them well. I've always got to thank our sponsors, our partners, the people that have been with us since day one. Let's shout out to Numbers Game Scorecards, the Players Alliance, Rebellion Harvest Sunflower Seeds, RBG Baseball, Minority Prospects. Make sure you check all of them out. We're very excited about what's coming down the pike. It is All-Star Week coming up. I can't wait. I'll be in Atlanta on starting I think on Thursday, and then it's just a whirlwind until the All-Star game on Tuesday. Flobo Boyce is here. Flobo, how we feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good. All-Star Week is actually better for me because not only as a baseball fan, but a sport fan, that in a world where everyone tries to switch up the formats, there's something very classic about what MLB does. Cheats is going. I'm not going, but Cheats is going out there. It's going to be a good time.
It is. I'm excited about it. I always have this gripe. I will die on this hill if I had one change. I think we talk about this every year. If I had one change to the All-Star game, I would make it Saturday afternoon, like a Saturday 4:30 start, a Saturday 5 o'clock start. I would not have it on Tuesday 8 p.m., 9 p.m. for all of your East Coast kind of West Coast balance. I think the All-Star game was always made for Saturday. I remember growing up as a kid, I think it was a Saturday, like early afternoon, late evening. That would be the one hill I die on. April, how are you feeling?
I am great. I too am excited about All Star, and I too will not be attending, but I will be supporting Cheats as he does some amazing work out there in Atlanta. And let me also say, MLB All Star is my favorite All Star out of all of the sports.
It
My,
is now. Was it always your favorite All-Star, or
yes,
because it's changed? I
yes.
will be the first to tell you. NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, when I was like growing up, when I was in high school, when I was in college, you could not beat NBA All-Star Weekend. But NBA All-Star Weekend has changed and got watered down, and it's changed so much that now you kind of love MLB All-Star Week. They've added things. While I think NBA All-Star Weekend has watered itself down, taking things away, and less people are in the dunk contest, and
Right.
the 3-point shootout's not what it used to be, and all of these things. MLB All-Star Week has gotten better. They've added the Swingman Classic. The Futures game is now a marquee event. Home
Mhm.
Run Derby is amazing, followed by probably the least exciting part of the game is the actual game.
And you know what? I think that the game is still the best out of all the sports too, because you're playing for something. And I I just feel like I don't even turn my TV on for the NBA basketball game. I'm not even going to waste my time watching. I can't tell you the last time I turned my TV on for it. If I watch anything for NBA, it is going to be maybe slam dunk, but I'm more interested in the 3-point contest now. Have not watched the NFL in years. So
Yeah,
yes, I look
the
forward
NFL's
to
done. They can't play a real football game anymore.
I look forward to MLB, and I love how MLB, they have like the celebrity games, they have the Swingman Classic, they have the Futures game. So I feel like they have all of the different types of things to attract different kinds of audiences who love the sport. And I think that they do a really good job of putting that out there. That's why it's my favorite.
Flipper, what say you? Was MLB NBA? What was your favorite All Star Week?
This is kind of the
WrestleMania.
reason. Yeah, well, WrestleMania is always. I'm a SummerSlam guy personally. No, it has to be NBA, man. And I feel like a lot of things I liked about the MLB version, they kind of got away because it was same uniforms on both sides. Remember the one from '95 with the Chili Peppers or '96 Chili Peppers in San Antonio? Like it was that. It was local bands. It was all day on NBA and NBC. They treated it like it was a long festival like a WrestleMania. So NBA in the 90s prime was next level. I mean, MLB was good too, but like that was a water cooler talk if kids had water coolers back then. You know what I mean?
Right, but now, what do you think of it? Like now, does it still hold up? Because again, NBA is not the same.
No,
it isn't. And I feel like I'm a big proponent of keeping everyone having the same uniform. I know they're going back to every team wearing their own. I know I'm kind of weird when it comes to that stuff, but that aside, the fact that it's been more or less classic at the MLB, like it hasn't really changed that much, I kind of appreciate it for. Yeah, the home field advantage thing was an experiment, but it isn't like there are like 10-run home runs or like super power up pitches or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's not like our old school MTV Rock and Jock game. And I mean, here's the thing. Let's be honest. It's just easier. You can play baseball hard. You can play baseball that looks like a baseball game. They're not going to do that in the NFL. They used to. Right. The Pro Bowl used to be a real game. They don't even tackle in that anymore, right? They moved it to flag. Mm-hmm. They used to do it in the NBA. They used to actually play hard in these All-Star games in the NBA. But the environment has changed so much. These guys don't even come there to play a basketball game anymore. They come there to be celebrated, have fun, and not get hurt because they don't want to risk their millions of dollars. Baseball is still the game where you can really play the game as hard as you want to play it and like make it look like a real game and be successful. So I'm excited about it. I think it's a huge honor still. We're going to talk about who was named, who wasn't named, who got in, who got out. But being named, if you watch the videos over the last, 48 hours or so, being named to the All-Star team still means something.
Yes.
And I remember us talking last week and kind of, really thinking of should every team still have a representative. And I remember seeing the video of the Rockies, who are god awful. Let's just call it what it is. But the Rockies naming their All-Star, right? Like they had a video of them in the clubhouse naming their All-Star and how much emotion and excitement was put behind it. And I was like, they're coming for me. Because I'm the guy that was like, do we need an All-Star for every team? I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I still vote for it. But it's like, if somebody wasn't going to get an All-Star, probably be like the Rockies and the White Sox per se. But it was heartwarming to see.
Man, it's like social promotion. I get it. That's what's up. Just since you're around, you're the best guy here. I guess you should go too. That's what a star means to cheats. It's fine.
I thought you liked it last week too, Flobo. You don't like every team.
It's hard because I get both sides of it, but the Rockies specifically have been so bad. They should be punished, man. Let's be real.
The Rockies put 48,000 in the stadium for 4th of July, and here I am thinking. Okay, listen to me. Here I am thinking it was just for fireworks, right? 4th of July, everybody likes fireworks. But then I looked like the next night, and they still had like 30,000 in the stadium, and they were playing the White Sox. It was a horrible game. Yeah, it was a horrible series.
Why should I invest in people that are coming to the game? Like, there's no pressure on me now to make this product any better if it's selling out.
The Rocky fans deserve better. They're like
apparently not. They enjoy what they got.
I guess not. All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about. When it comes to MLB All-Star everything. The starters are named. The reserves are named. The pitchers are named. There's a lot to go over. I guess I will start with just top line reactions from both you and Flobo, and you, April. Is there any person, name, like, as this is all shaked out, is snubbed? Is there anything that gets you really excited or that you want to talk about top line when it comes to the All-Star game? I'll start with you, Flobo, because I'm looking at your face already.
Because I don't know how to explain this. If those of you who are long-term listeners of the podcast knows about my personal feelings of somebody who twerks in the batter's box. But the fact that Juan Soto is not an all-star based on his numbers is a crime, man. And the fact I'm defending this guy makes me so hard on the inside. I mean, SNY wrote about it. 263 average, 21 home runs. That's more than Tatis. That's more than Corbin Carroll. I just don't understand why someone, I guess people got tired of him because they got the whole Yankee backlash. I guess fans decided to put that elsewhere. That to me was the biggest number of it all.
I don't know why. Yes, I don't know why Soto was not on the list. It's hard when you look at the list and you see who the reserves are. Well, again, we can talk about the fan voting for the starters all we want, but when you look at the list and you see who the reserves are, it is hard not to put him on that team in that outfield. Just difficult. All right, but I'm gonna come back. April, what stood out to you? So let me just get this straight, and this is really a Flobo character trait, if you ask me. When you ask him what stands out, about the whole All-Star roster reveal, he talks about the person not on the list by far more than anybody on the list. I'm just saying.
I'm putting it out there. I mean, Juan Soto's no slouch. I think he's better than half these people in the field, and it pains me to say that, Cheese.
There you go. April, what stands out to you?
Okay, so let me go back to the Juan Soto situation first.
Okay.
I think we also have to remember he had a very slow start.
No, come on. He was still better than 25%. Okay, I'm sorry. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
For some people, they remember that particular part, whereas there were players who were pretty consistent. But that also brings back up my question from last week, because I asked the question about Acuna, and yes, I know it's in Atlanta, but y'all know I also told y'all on my TikTok, I was surprised at the number of people who were like, remove him and add other people like, say, Soto, etc. So
I think, but here's the thing. I think Acuna takes him out of this conversation because he was voted in by the fans. So he is a starter voted in by the fans. So I think he removes himself from the debate of whether he should be in or not, because as Flobo said last week, that part of the game is about the fans. You want to give the people what they want, and the people put in Ronald Acuna as a starter. So I think the debate really comes in is, should Juan Soto have gotten in over Corbin Carroll, Cal Stowers, Fernando Tatis Jr., or James Wood?
So I feel James Wood got in because his invite to the All-Star, and he deserved it too. But then I look at Tatis.
Hold on, stop.
Hold on. I'm not done yet. I'm looking
you're wrong.
How am I wrong?
You just said you think James Wood got in because of his
invite. I'm looking at the outfielders that got in the reserves. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm thinking stream of consciousness. I'm not saying no one deserves a spot.
Okay.
But if I'm looking at the list here, and these are the reserves for the outfielder positions, and those are Kyle Stowers in Miami, Tatis Jr. in San Diego, and James Wood in Washington. I would say, because I don't think Miami has another player, and you have to get everyone in there, the one you can swap out would be Tatis, because you had Machado there. But I could imagine the decision of Tatis over Soto would be a coin flip. To me, it's kind of funny, though, that both these guys are being swapped out for one another. Like, I think these guys could have coexisted. I don't think Juan Soto was the right decision to be benched. But again, I feel bad defending that guy at the same time. So
does it matter that Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso are already in?
Well, the whole Mets.
You don't want to have a whole team full of Mets.
But there's 5 Dodgers. What are you talking? What are you talking about? You got 5 Dodgers on the team. I'm not knocking the Dodgers. Props to them. But the whole
could have been
number.
More.
I'm just saying.
And I will take it a step further as a Dodgers fan, and y'all know I have criticized this player because on some stat sheets, Pages has better numbers than Tatis as well. And I know that y'all gonna sit down here and tell me that maybe I'm doing a little bit too much. But if we're going by that particular standard for those in there,
you're doing too much.
The reserves are a weird
thing. You're doing
thing.
too much.
The fans are weird. I get the fans.
Let's be clear, Flobo. Let's be clear. There are 4 Dodgers. And then Clayton Kershaw was appointed by the commissioner as some, like, get the old man in the rocking chair. Is he retiring?
Yeah,
is he retiring?
This is it for him.
Did he announce he's retiring? Is this like
he didn't announce, but I think everybody kind of knows that this is.
He better be, because why is he on there?
Chase is like, no, it's not 5 Dodgers. It's 4 + 1 Dodgers.
Right.
I bet.
Not doing too much. Not against. Listen.
No. If he's not on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar This is my last wave. Like I announced before the season, this is it. I get gifts at every location I'm going to recognize my greatness. If this is not this isn't Cal. Exactly. Cal Ripken during his last year announced before the season this was his last year. The Iron Man got awards everywhere he went, and he got named to the All-Star team as like a special exemption. If that's this, that's fine. If he is not announced he's retiring and the commissioner was just like put Kershaw on the team, why? What's going on?
3,000.
Yeah, he had his 3,000.
A lot of people got stats, bro.
If it was up to me, I would have swapped him out for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, especially after today. But I'm not the commissioner, Cheats. I have no idea. I can't explain this.
All right, so
too much Dodger hate going on. I've already taken some L's this weekend. It's enough.
A lot of L's this weekend. I was there for one of them.
It's not hate. It's not hate. It's not hate. I think Flobo's looking for a way to put Soto on the team.
It should be Tatis. In all honesty, it should be Tatis should not have been an All-Star unless he's going to be in the Derby. That's what I was trying to say.
And I don't think there has to be a Derby. I think. Hold on. Let me get it. Just so I'm clear.
Good point.
Do you have to play in the game to be in the Derby?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. But I think.
Oh yeah, you just had to hit bombs.
Yeah, but I think you get to be on the roster. You get to be chosen for the All-Star game, and then in that pool, you go to the Derby. Like Pete Alonso was picked to be our All-Star last year just because he said yes to being in the Derby over Lindor.
All right. What stands out? Did we get to April?
No, I'm sorry. I was complaining too much.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all.
She's upset, guys.
Yeah, I was doing too much.
I'm gonna go to the American League. Julio Rodriguez was a shock to me on the roster.
Okay.
He hasn't been playing his best ball. And kind of was, whenever I saw his name, I was like, well, what are we doing here? Is this just a normal thing? But y'all can help me out with that because I didn't get that one. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, first off, shout out to the Mariners, man. I think they sent 3 this year, which is the most they've did in like 5 years, 10 years. So props to them. And Kyle Raleigh's a lock for sure. Brian Rue, I would say. But you're right. I kind of feel like Jake Rod was like the dude they were trying to push 2 seasons ago as being the face of that team. As for why he's here this year, I'm in agreement.
I mean, hey, look, Julio Rodriguez, not only were they pushing him, I think, as the face of the team, they were pushing him as like one of the faces of the league, right?
Yeah.
So let's take a look at this, though. He's batting, his slash line is 247, 306, 389, which is, I think the league average. I just saw this the other day, and I could be wrong, but I think the league average is like 245, like the league batting average this year. 11 home runs, 43 RBIs. Look, they're in second place. They're 7 games out behind the Astros. He's probably, when you really put it together, outside of Cal Raleigh, he's the second best player on a pretty good team, right? I don't know. Randy Arozarena is really good too. So yeah, I don't fully know. I think he is very good defensively. But I don't think that's enough per se. So to justify this, so I don't know. J Rod's one of those guys, man. Now here's the thing: if the Flobo theory is correct, seriously, Julio Rodriguez, remember in Seattle, put on one of the best home run derby shows anyone's ever seen, ever. Right. I think he holds the record for the most home runs in a single round, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but he's not playing. He's not doing it.
He's not hitting. Did he already say he wasn't hitting?
I thought he said that.
He might have. He's not listed right now. But if they could get him in the Derby, it all makes sense, right, Flobo?
I would absolutely say that, for sure. Because I think even the problem last season was getting more people to say yes to the Derby because of how the new format makes it such an endurance test that guys don't even want to try it.
It is an
But I was like,
I remember leaving last year in Global Life for something I had to go to another event or something. And so I had to leave before the final rounds. And it was still going. It was a long time.
Right.
But no, okay, so this is what stand when we're looking at this overall roster. First of all, both of you, what's with the negativity? So, like Flebo's leading with who's not on the list. April's leading with who's on the list that shouldn't be on the list. There's
You
no
said
like, are you
snub.
happy for people?
You said snub.
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry.
I was happy to see, no lie, I was happy to see Gleyber Torres, even though he's injured right now, on this list, because coming from the Yankees to here and seeing that, you know, he's being celebrated, I really, really appreciate it.
Gleyber Torres voted as a starter for Detroit, right?
Yes, and as a starter.
And I'm happy for Ryan O'Hearn, who almost had no chance to make the All-Star game if Devers didn't get traded. So
I just say, so take a look at that. Take a look at that fate, right?
Yeah.
So Rafael Devers definitely was going to be the American League starter for DH. He gets traded over the National League. He's not even on the team. So Shohei's going to be the DH and Cal Schwarber's the backup DH. So Devers goes from being I'm sure he's happier in San Francisco,
right?
But he's not even an All-Star now. He just takes the time off.
I mean, I could sit down here for the next 2 minutes and talk about the Dodgers who made it, but I'm trying to be fair here.
Why not? Talk your talk.
Because I'm going to be the guy that definitely says how happy I am, Flobo, for James Wood. First All-Star selection. You want to talk about a guy that has really, really just lived up to the hype, performed, has really come into his own. I am a huge, huge James Wood fan. You know that. We're everyone at the Black Baseball Mixtape is. We thought he got the short end of the stick when it came to not being a finalist in the fan vote. However, he absolutely deserved to be. He's been the best player on the Nationals. He absolutely deserves to be on the team, and I am happy for him. I'm happy for his first All-Star selection, and I think there's nothing but bigger and brighter things to come for that young guy. He is a phenom, and he is hitting in the home run derby as well, which I think is exciting. Now, and again, if you look at James Wood's home runs, a lot of them are opposite field. I think he has more opposite field home runs than just about any of the top sluggers in the game right now. And he doesn't hit like he doesn't hit monster 500-foot home runs all the time. Like I said, a lot of them are opposite field. A lot of them are just kind of regular standard home runs, but he hits a lot of them. And I'm excited to see when he has the opportunity to put on a show, how is he going to do? How big are those lights going to be?
I agree.
So I'm happy. So the couple other ones that stand out to me about who I'm happy about, we can go through a lot of these. We talked about Acuna. I think Acuna appropriately from the crowd. But if we're looking at some of the reserves, Byron Buxton is somebody that I absolutely am happy about. He's also hitting in the Derby. I think he's hitting in the Derby because I think he just wants to enjoy the experience. This is the second time that it's like, remember last year Mookie Betts hitting to the Derby and everybody's what the heck's going on?
Even Mookie was saying that.
Or was it 2 years ago? It might have been one of those recent All-Star games. Mookie Betts hitting the Derby, and we're like, you have no business being here, but he still hit. I think Byron Buxton, he has 20 home runs. He could put on. I think he has the physical ability to really put on a show, but he has been putting on a show all season long. And he was a guy I remember. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but he had fallen out of going into the season. He had fallen out of the top 100 best MLB players. He was in it, then he got hurt. He missed a bunch of games, and I don't know. I wouldn't say people were writing him off, but I think people forgot how good he is when he's right, and he's been right all season, and he's been fantastic. So Buxton is a guy that I'm excited to see just be named to the team, be able to perform, and do a really good job. And then we can talk about this because this one might have some controversy behind it, but he's been lighting it up. Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm out of position in the All-Star game for the Yankees, named as a reserve. So it wasn't like he wasn't fan voted in. Named as a reserve. He's been a really dangerous hitter in that Yankees lineup. Obviously, you've got Aaron Judge in there. You've got some other guys really putting on shows, but Jazz has probably been the second best hitter on that team.
Yeah, and he's playing out of position too. I mean that's incredibly hard to put on. So, yeah.
I'm
happy too, Cheats. Can I be happy also? You should have called me a hater all day.
Those are the ones that stand out to me that I'm really happy about. But like we got a lot more.
Can I step in for Malik because Malik's not here today? But I'm sure if he was here, you got to say, yeah, shout out to Javi Baez, right? Because the whole league had written him off a season ago, and he's out there making it happen as a starter, by the way, for Detroit.
He's named a starter, and how many? I can't remember off the top, but it was like I want to say he's been named an All-Star in like 3 to 5 different positions.
Yeah, so second base, shortstop, and center field.
It's fantastic.
Wow.
It's fantastic. Yeah. All right,
and
so
I will say I wonder if Malik would he would definitely be happy about Hunter Brown being an All-Star, Jeremy Pena, even though he's injured, and he probably would be side-eyeing the American public about Framber Valdez. So
well, let's go through some of this really quickly. So because I want to, I love it, and I think that we'll have the opportunity to do so. The game is again on Tuesday. Let's talk about the starters, and I'll just ask you, did the American public get it right, get it wrong, and then we'll just kind of go through the rosters and see if we have any beef with any of these. But the American League starters in the infield, Vladdy Guerrero, he beat out who did he beat out? Who's Vladdy's other finalists in the American League first base?
Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, so I think America got that right?
Yeah.
Vladdy over Paul Goldschmidt. Jose Ramirez, we talk about him all the time, most underrated player in the game.
Yes.
He absolutely deserves a start. Jacob Wilson beating out Bobby Witt Jr. Flobo, I know this is one that we talked about quite a bit. I think America got it right in the long run. I'm surprised they got it right.
Yeah, I was saying that in the Discord. By the way, Black Baseball Mixtape Discord, come through, say what's up. I was like, if I was in charge, I would put Bobby Witt there because he was a household name.
Right.
But yeah, when it comes to straight up stats, straight up energy, it was the right call.
And Bobby Witt Jr. named to his second All-Star game, so he's going. He's in Atlanta. He'll be there. Right. But Jacob Wilson gets the start. And then we talked about this. Gleyber Torres gets the start for Detroit. Any beef with the starting American League infield?
Mm-mm.
All right. Then we've got Alex Bregman, Jazz Chisholm, Brandon Lowe, Jeremy Pena, Bobby Witt, and Jonathan Aranda's first All-Star selection for the Tampa Bay Rays. You like that squad? Anything to say about those? Any comments?
I didn't think that Aranda would be selected. Not because I didn't think he was good enough, but rather that somebody flies under the radar. But skill-wise, no complaints.
Mm-hmm.
No complaints.
Is Bregman healthy? Is he going to be healthy for the game? Is he going to play?
Bregman, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think he will.
Yep, and Jeremy Pena's not going to play, right?
No.
I don't think so either.
Yep. Let's quickly jump over to the outfield. We talked about Javi Baez. Congratulations, Detroit Tigers. This is his third All-Star selection. I think 3 different positions, like we talked about. Riley Green. So Detroit's got 2 of this. So the votes were out. And I'm assuming Turk Skubal will probably start this game.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge, leading vote getter, I think, was he the leading vote getter in all of Major League Baseball? Did he beat Shohei? I think he did.
I think he did.
Sure, I think he's the leading vote getter, Aaron Judge.
Okay.
So Baez, Green, Judge, I don't have any beef with those guys. The reserves, we talked about Julio Rodriguez already. My guy, Stephen Kwan, for the Guardians. He's really good.
Is he the sole Guardian?
Yeah, he's a Guardian.
No, is he the sole Guardian selection? I think so.
No, Ramirez.
Ramirez. Okay. I was like, that's very good, great. That's like a deep cut. That's what people who know ball go like.
He's just all he is just good. He's just flat out good. Ooh, that's a good question. If you had a choice, would you take Stephen Kwan or Corbin Carroll on a team?
Corbin is faster. Nah, man, I go with Kwan. Give me Kwan all day, baby. Why not?
Who would you take, Stephen Kwan or Corbin Carroll?
I'm gonna go with Corbin.
You can only pick one. Huh?
I'm gonna go with Corbin. I'm going with Corbin Carroll.
I'm gonna stand by him.
I'm gonna stand by him.
NL West.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
It is, but
I think when Corbin Carroll's right there, you got to take Corbin Carroll.
Yeah,
right?
and I think that he's also shown up in the big games already. So yeah, I wanna
I love Stephen Kwan. That's a tough. If you add PCA in the mix, it gets a little even more confusing, right? Or no?
Let's not do too much. Let's leave him in
I
there.
mean, PCA is hot now.
Right.
Leave
Will
him
he be
in
hot
there.
next
you're
to
right.
him?
You guys let me know. Would you take for the next 5 years? Do you take Corbin Carroll or Stephen Kwan? For the next 5 years, that'll be the question for the Black Baseball Mixtape audience. That
Yes,
would be
in
the
the chat.
Hey,
All
look,
right.
shout out to minorities, man. But I'm gonna go with Stephen Kwan.
We talked about Julio Rodriguez, talked about Stephen Kwan, we talked about Byron Buxton. That is the outfield. I really think that that's good. And then we talked about Ryan O'Hearn, man, first All-Star selection. I'm an Orioles fan. He's the best Oriole there. He's the best Oriole to select.
Dang.
And Brett Rucker. So Brett Rucker got his second All-Star selection. So, I mean, hey, look, you got you have to, you have to go with the people that are performing and doing the right thing. And I think this is a good team. I think they made a lot more right choices than wrong choices.
Right.
I mean, everybody can always talk about the last guy not making it. Pitching wise, we did talk about Hunter Brown. Aroldis Chapman gets named. Garrett Crochet gets named. Jacob deGrom, Max Fried, Josh Hader. A lot of familiar names on the pitching staff. Turk Skubal. Some Brian Wu, his first All-Star game. We talked about him in Seattle. All right, so the guys I did not know about is there's a Seattle pitcher, Andres Munoz, and then there is a Burbick out of Kansas City, who I know is pitching well. First All-Star selection there. So quite a few first All-Star selections on the American League. That pitching staff, I think you got to start Skubal there, and then Crochet's pitching pretty amazing.
Wow.
I know that Brian Wu's pitching amazing. Any questions about when you look at the pitching staff? Hunter Brown's pitching great. Any thoughts? Any comments, guys?
I was like, shout out to Kikuchi, not the angel I would have selected, but okay, I guess if everyone has to go.
Yes, I did not mention Kikuchi. This is his second All-Star game though. This is not his first.
First is an angel though.
Okay, but there you go. Kikuchi's done it before though. He's gotten there.
Yeah.
I like the team, man. I like the team. Oh, I don't have the list in front of me about big American League snubs, but George Springer was the guy that I would have loved to have seen on there. But again, you got to do it consistently all season. I think Springer's been amazing all season. Obviously, he's just been a phenomenal Blue Jay. But when you start stacking up numbers over numbers, he had some lulls and he had some injuries, right? So, but I think Springer's my guy. Buxton and Springer were the two guys I was really rooting for in that American League outfield. And so, maybe like I said, if there's a replacement, I think Springer's knocking on the door. So.
I agree.
Let's quickly switch over to the National League. I'm sorry, American League. I'm sorry. I forgot a very important position when we talked about speaking of Springer, and that might be the issue because Cal Raleigh starting catcher, and then Alejandro Kirk is the backup catcher. So that, you add in Vlad, you add in Kirk. There's some Blue Jays on the list. And again, when you get to that level, when we were talking about with Soto, you've already got two Blue Jays on the team. Everybody's got to have a position. Somebody might get squeezed out, right?
Yeah.
Flobo hates it.
I just don't understand. I thought they're supposed to be the best players in the position, or just everything's all politics on the reserves.
Give me that.
It's
by the way, did we talk? Who's the White Sox? Who's the White Sox on the team? Who's the White Sox on the? It's a pitcher.
Shane Smith. Shane Smith.
All right. Yeah. All right. So Shane Smith taking somebody's job.
Wow. You taking somebody's job.
I don't know. Yeah, shout out Shane Smith. He might be amazing. I haven't watched a lot of White Sox this year. So.
Right.
I did. I watched him for our guy Josh Palacios. Then he got DFA. So shout out to Pila. Michael A. Taylor. I watch him too. All right. Let's go through this. I'll start with the catcher since I left them off last time. Will Smith voted the starter. Hunter Goodman for the Colorado Rockies. That's the clip that we saw. Hey, congratulations to Goodman. Same thing with Shane Smith. Will Smith, third All-Star selection. This is the first time. This is the first time he's voted as a starter.
Yes, this is. I was about to say that this was the first time. He should have been voted last year, but we're not gonna hang on to the past. But I'm very excited to see that the fans got it right this year.
Look at Flobo's face. To the fans get it right, Flobo.
The slow news if it catches. Let's be real. It's like, I guess Will Smith, he aight.
I guess.
Stop. He's actually been doing very well.
I'm trolling.
Other starters: Freddie Freeman, Francisco Lindor, Manny Machado, Ketel Marte. Do we have any beef with that group as currently constructed? Those are the fan vote. Francisco Lindor, first time voted as a fan vote starter.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. The Dodger in me, the petty side of me, really wanted Max Muncy to make it in over Machado because I know that today's episode would have been absolutely crazy. But that didn't happen. So we won't live in the what ifs.
Is he also injured though, too?
Yeah, he's injured now. But yeah.
He still wanted to be Machado.
I would have lived.
Petty.
Y'all know I was voting. Y'all know I was calling and voting too.
Petty LaBelle.
And y'all know.
Mayonnaise.
I was calling and voting.
How many votes do we get?
Yeah, exactly.
5, and I used all 5.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, no.
I don't have anything for the in regards to the infield. So.
Hey, there you go. Let's talk about reserves. Pete Alonso's a reserve. Ella Dela Cruz reserve. Brendan Donovan, Matt Olson. For Arizona, Eugenio Suarez gets the call. Flobo, what do you think about Eugenio Suarez?
I think he definitely deserves a spot. I know the fans will not have voted him in just because there were a lot more flashy players with the Snakes, but I think Suarez has been really someone who's been consistent even when there's weeks where Diamondbacks forget how to score. So props to him.
Props to him. He is really good. You see him in highlights a lot. Pete Alonso
being a reserve is a crime, but that's all right. Look, here's the deal when it comes to anti-Mets bias when it comes to these sort of things.
Okay,
Pete Alonso is your Pete Alonso has been mashing it. Not only that, he's bounced back from last season, and not only that, Freddie Freeman's speed has gone from 0 to -2, and he still won the popular vote. Like, let's be real, man. I'm not hating. I'm not saying Freddie's trash. I'm not saying Freddie's bad. I'm just saying if there's someone who deserved to be in a reserve spot to save his body, it'd be Freddie Freeman. That's what I'm saying.
But the fans want to see a player who will give them.
Just talk about how much you love the fans.
I'm just saying.
No.
You guys show hate, bro.
He's getting hurt by his own strategy here. Give the people what they want. The people want Freddie Freeman.
Right.
The people were crazy because
good ankle or not. They said, "Give me Freddie, good ankle or not."
One grand slam was a grand slam. One walk-off home run, the World Series.
That was a massive home run. It was.
It was. David, Freddie, stop being so likable, Freddie.
It was awesome.
You still talking about it?
That was awesome.
Stop being so likable.
Ronald Acuna Jr. starter, Derby participant. Pete Crow Armstrong starter, voted by the fans first time. Cal Tucker starter. Okay, the Cal Tucker thing. Phenomenal player. No. Relax, April. Relax. I tell you this, guys, all the time. I'm just like in awe of the Cal Tucker popularity. That's what I'm like. I thought it was like no. Cal Tucker's a phenomenal player.
Okay,
but I don't know if it's the region I live in. I just did not know Cal Tucker's like a top 10 selling jersey type thing. And then here's what I thought. I thought it was attributed to Houston because I didn't fully understand until recently in life, the last couple of years, exactly how much pull Houston has when it comes to just like consumer jersey products and ticket sales and all of this stuff. So I was like, oh, Cal Tucker and Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve, they're in this machine of the Houston Astros that just like put out all this fan support. But no, Tucker goes to Chicago and he's still like, this is the first time he's voted by the fans as a starter. And he's having a great year.
Right.
But Tucker's just a really, really he's a good player, but he's a really popular guy. I had no idea how popular Cal Tucker was.
And I'm going to speak on behalf of the ladies. a lot of the ladies like the way Kyle Tucker looks as well. So from a fandom perspective, no, I'm not speaking for myself.
I've been told.
y'all got a big dumper.
I'm not
on
speaking
there.
for myself. I'm just letting y'all know, like a lot of women on social media, they talk about how attractive he is. So
Right.
yes, they're going out, they're buying his jerseys, and they're going to
Well, good for Kyle Tucker. Like,
Look at the side hate.
on that.
Oh, he's a phenomenal player. I didn't know people liked him. You know what this reminds me of? Last season,
didn't know they liked him this much.
Last season, you tried to convince me and Malik that Ali Rushman was a global star. And we was like, no. Ain't no way.
I've had some bad takes in my life. Looking back, that one did not age well.
Nope.
Lord.
Yeah, shout out to my guy KB though, because the worst take I ever had was I tried to convince people that Proswell from the Fugees was a good rapper.
Oh no! You could have picked anyone, and you picked Pros.
It was like the first time I went on this one particular show, and I remember us being like, "The Fugees, they all could rap," and they were like, "Proswell couldn't rap." Never mind. The point is, I could be wrong. The Adley Rushman take is not as bad as the Proswell take, but it has not paid. I will tell you this: if Rushman had turned in an All-Star performance this year, I might have stood by that argument.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all keep telling you, look, y'all aren't no better. April's over there telling me Tim Anderson's going to come back next year.
Listen,
we've had bad takes.
All my takes are bad. I just own them.
We were like, oh, he's going to do it with the Marlins.
Yep. Angels going to the playoffs, baby. I'm still
somebody gotta have faith.
I know. I'm with you.
It's just gonna be me.
Yeah. What was it? Who was it? Yeah, Angels to the playoffs. Angels to the playoffs was Flobos. How's that looking right now?
It is getting kind of scary, Cheats. I'm gonna lie to you, man.
So here's the thing. So in all honesty, when you put it in perspective, the Adley Rushman take is not nearly as bad as the now. I did say the Orioles are going to the World Series this year.
You did, and win the division.
And you know that ain't happening.
That might be my worst take, but the Rushman take, it's looking better every day right now. All right, we got more to do. But no, Cal Tucker, first time voting.
He's very popular.
Apparently very good look. April, would you say, okay, not to get off topic here, but I do want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
April, would you say that Cal Tucker is the most attractive 2025 MLB All-Star?
No.
According to the ladies. What do they feel? Flebo, what do they according to the ladies?
No.
Who's the most attractive, for the ladies' perspective, 2025 MLB All-Star?
Let me see this list.
If it's a Dodger, I'm going to scream. I'm like, yo, the bias is real.
Dude,
not a Dodger.
Aaron Judge has that look.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Oh, Lindor. Lindor might be more fashion.
Javi Baez.
All right, there it is. The ladies, according to April, says Javi Baez.
Sorry, Kyle Raleigh. They call you the big dumper and everything.
And listen, I'm saying Javi Baez because he appeals to like the women my age who are like on the older side. And the younger ladies like him too. So he's getting like both. So yeah, a lot of women my age love him. And then
first
a lot
of all,
can
I just say, are we missing the obvious here?
What?
Shohei Ohtani.
Oh yeah.
He's got good hair. He's got good hair. That's it. They do be out there be like, Tom.
Do we move him into a whole different category? Because
I don't know, man.
Every person I've seen, look, I don't. This is a true story. This is true.
He's very
because I tell folks all the time, you don't realize how big, like physically big, Shohei Ohtani is until you see him in person. Then it's like he's like seeing an NBA player that they look normal amongst all other NBA players, but if you see him as a regular person, he's physically big. This is a true story. No matter where, like I've only seen him at All-Star games, and I've only seen him from a distance. His entourage, the cloud that follows him doesn't even let you get close. But it's like every time I've been in a room where his like cloud of aura goes by, I don't care if it's old, young, white, black, Latino, age, they're like, that's a good looking dude.
Yes. And he has like this Adonis appeal to him. Show does. So I would definitely have to agree with that.
Oh, all right. Hey, look. All-Star reserve National League outfielders Corbin Carroll. We talked about Cal Stowers. Congratulations to him, first-time All-Star.
Right.
Third-time All-Star Fernando Tatis. However, everybody would take him off the list for other people. I like El Nino, so there you go. And James Wood, I've already talked about as well. I mean, hey, look, strong group of outfielders there.
Yes.
And then we've got Ohtani and Cal Schwarber. Cal Schwarber's just really good. He's a good hitter. So, like, I don't have any beef with the National League and how they went about their selections. Outside of, like I said, Tatis is if you're gonna swap somebody out for Soto.
If you had a chance to sign those
what
guys
I
for
will
your team?
say is I appreciate it about Soto, and I don't know if this was just his, his answer that his media answer. But when they asked him how he felt about it, he was like, I guess I just need to play better consistently. And I appreciated hearing him say that.
Soto is also Dominican, who has actually said publicly that his favorite player in the league is Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yes.
I don't know if that matters in regards to like the other people, but he really likes.
Yes.
Like they'd asked him before the season started, who's the best player in baseball. He said Fernando Tatis.
Yes.
Flobo is still upset about this. Let's talk about the pitchers.
I'm really upset about it.
Talk about the pitchers. Jason Adam, Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd is actually pitching really well. Edwin Diaz, that's another Met. Mackenzie Gore, first-time All-Star. Clayton Kershaw, Legends pick. I don't know what the hell that means. Freddie Peralta, Robbie Ray, Randy Rodriguez, Chris Sale, Paul Skeens, Logan Webb, Zach Wheeler, who I'm talking. I said, look, I don't watch a lot of out-of-market games, but Sunday, I believe it was, I saw that Chase Burns was starting against Zach Wheeler. I sat down and watched that entire game, locked to the screen, complete game, one hit, like 12 Ks. Wheeler is amazing.
Locked in.
Amazing. And your favorite, April Yamamoto as well, first-time All-Star.
Poor guy.
We're not talking about tonight.
I'm just,
I think Yamamoto deserves it. Guy's shoving. I think the talk is last year. Remember last year they had this whole lobbying campaign, and Paul Skeens wound up starting the All-Star game.
Yes.
He's on his second All-Star game this year. I'm assuming it's between Wheeler, Logan Webb, and Skeens to start, right? Who's going to start this game?
I think Skeens starts again. Starting again.
I mean, he's young. I mean, he's been good. I don't see why not.
And Sales won the Cy Young, so right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he even starts, but hey, look, I don't have a problem with this list. Like, I think the people really get a lot of what they want.
Mm-hmm.
I think some really well-deserved people got selected in the reserves. I think it's going to be a very exciting kind of 2 days. Like All-Star Week starts that like Friday, but really it's the Monday. The major league players don't get there until Monday. They do the Monday. They play games until Sunday. So they play regular season games until Sunday. They get there on Monday. They do the home run derby Monday night. They do like an All-Star media avail. And then Tuesday is like they do batting practice and they play the game. So, hey, look, I don't have any beef with the selections here. What do you guys think?
I mean, whenever you say it that way, I guess.
Oh, the question I have is that with your suggestion or the hill you're dying on about moving the All-Star game to Saturday, you would stop play on Thursday and count that as a regular weekend series? Like, how would that work?
Yeah. I just stop them on Thursday, home run derby, maybe Friday night, All-Star game on Saturday. Again, the other stuff, the way that they've built it, I understand, because again, when you talk about All-Star Week, now you're talking about Friday night, HBCU Swingman Classic. Mm-hmm. Saturday is the Futures game, which is a huge attraction. Like Swingman Classic's a growing attraction. This is year 3. This will be the biggest Swingman Classic they've ever had because the first 2 years, the first year it was in Seattle. There's no HBCUs in Seattle. There's not a lot of HBCU culture in Seattle, right? The second year, it's in Dallas in Global Life, Texas Rangers home stadium.
That's Arlington.
They had more, right? They had more fans, and there's like some Texas Southern, some, you know what I mean, some people there. But you're putting down the HBCU Classic Year 3 in Atlanta. Right. Atlanta is one of the meccas of HBCUs, and not only that, it's one of the meccas of HBCU alumni base. So I really feel like if Friday goes off like they're planning, it's going to be a very big Swingman Classic, the biggest they've ever had. So that's Friday night. Then you go to Saturday, you play the Futures game, which is now a huge, like almost sold out event, right? And they've got some huge names, some phenomenal names that are playing in the Futures game this year. And you also have the celebrity softball tournament. So believe it or not, the Futures game is early. And I was talking about this when I was telling you guys I was doing kind of a daily vlog, if you will, a daily podcast recap of my experience at the first All-Star game I ever went to. There was a very serious line of demarcation. There's a couple, but Thursday night is the swingman practice. Thursday afternoon is the swingman practice. Thursday night's like the swingman dinner. If you've got media access, you get credentialed, you're able to do your thing, you're basically able to walk very freely around swingman. Saturday, Futures game. If you have media access, you're able to do basically what we did at Birmingham, which is there's usually a rope line, there's usually like some restricted areas, but you're able to go on the field, walk around, talk to people, do a lot of media access things, which is really cool. The first line of demarcation, the first line that things change, is when the Futures game is over and the celebrity softball game starts. Because now you're not talking about kind of future stars that like baseball junkies are excited about. No, now you're talking about actors and and musicians and entourages and security. So the level of security for the celebrity softball game is the first time where they're like, "Hey, let me, young man, let me see that badge. Let me see that wristband. Like you need to get over here. You belong over here." It's the first time they're really moving you around. And it's because, like, there's NFL, like last year in Dallas, Dion, was at the game. Like Coach Prime is at the game. You can't just walk up to Coach Prime like you could, Justin Henry Malloy or Enrique Bradfield or somebody in the Futures game and be like, "Hey, can I get an interview?" It doesn't work that way. So that's like the first line. So that's Saturday, Futures game, celebrity softball. What they've done for All-Star Week, which is really exciting, is that they built the draft into that Sunday. So Sunday is the draft day for Major League. It also gives you like this. I will tell you this. Most people know this, but there's a little inside tip here. This is like the de facto breather for like the two kind of phases of All-Star Week, right? So HBCU game, Futures game, celebrity softball. That Sunday is just the draft, but it's also a breather. So do you know what that means? It's the biggest night for the parties. That's when you have the big parties, right? So you have the draft, and then you have a lot of the big parties that people go to. That's also when the Major League players start. Sunday night is when some of the Major League players start to get into town, especially if they had afternoon games. They leave those afternoon games and fly to wherever the All-Star site is, right? Okay. Monday, everything changes. The big boys are there. The MLB All-Stars are there. That's when, if you're staying in the hotel, a hotel that you were able to move freely in before, you can't move freely in it now. You have to show your ID to get to your level. Security's like no pictures in the lobby. All that changes on Monday. And then, obviously, the All-Star game's on Tuesday. Home run derby Monday night, practice, media availability, red carpet is Tuesday, All-Star game's Tuesday. But that's a long explanation. I hope the listeners stayed with me on that. I apologize it took so long.
I just found it okay. Well, I won't get into it. I was going to say, how's that going to work if you move the All-Star game to Saturday? Like, how is all that stuff going to fly now? You're going to have
let's get it. That's what I'm saying. So my point is, they probably can't do it now because they built in this Thursday through Tuesday thing with the draft in the middle. But it's just I think the kids miss out. Too many kids I think miss out on the late evening Tuesday night All-Star.
Do you guys have are you guys still trying to predict who's going to win the Celebrity All-Star game or become MVP of the Celebrity All-Star game? We even watch that at all?
Probably I watch it, but not for who's going to win.
Fine.
Right.
I watch it because I'm there. But no, do you have a pick? I don't even know who's playing, so you're better.
Who's playing yet?
Well, some people are here. Lotto Carrion, Funny Marco, Drewski, Jake from John Boy, Michael Kelly from House of Cards, Prince Royce, Quavo, Terrell Owens, Jermaine Dupri, Young Mako, Nikki Cass. I mean, there's some people out there.
Terrell Owens played last year. He's really good.
Jenny Finch.
Terrell Owens can hit bombs.
Jenny Finch can actually do it. She's actually
Jenny Finch is amazing. Natasha Watley, she played last year. Is she playing this year?
I don't think she's doing it this year. Cece Sabathia.
Those guys won't play hard. I'm trying to think like Terrell Owens. You got to find the right balance of who really wants to show their skills, and then like a Hall of Famer, they're not gonna play hard. They're just not. They might want to hit a bomb, but that's it.
Ronnie DeVoe's gonna be there.
But they won't even if they hit the fence, they're not running out a triple. Like they're just not doing that. But then there's other guys that play really hard. I remember the guy from SNL last year was like, he told us, he was like, this is my World Series. I'm giving it all I got. You know what I mean? So it's just a weird balance. I think the best moment we had last year was Kid Mero charging Pedro when he got hit. He stepped into the batter's box and wore one and then charged him. So that was good. But I think it is a fun game. It's a fun experience if you're able to watch it. And again, it's hard to explain a little bit because the environment is supposed to be fan friendly. And what I mean by that is especially if you're a celebrity, the players are the players, but if you're a celebrity, you're supposed to be on. You've got to be a real jerk not to sign autographs and talk to fans. You know what I mean? The environment calls for that. So even the guys in the futures game, where I've seen a lot of them as they go through Richmond in the AA stadium, where they're focused on the game. They've got to perform. They got to stretch before the game. In minor league baseball, affiliate baseball is 6 games in a row, Tuesday through Sunday. You might sign 2 or 3 of those. You're not signing all 6, probably. I'm just saying autographs and kids, unless you're a really special individual. And I ran across a couple of those. In this environment, every player in the futures game is signing, right? They're there to be of service, if you will. And they understand that. So you got to be a real kind of cold guy if you're not. I'm just saying, if you're not going to walk over and sign for the kids during an All-Star weekend experience, right? So
focus.
So there it's this everybody, put it this way. Everybody in MLB baseball weekend, it should be on their best behavior. You really should not be a curmudgeon, even for the All-Stars, the ones that are really difficult to get to. It's going to be harder to get a Shohei or a Paul Skeens autograph. But if say you're media and you're credentialed, if you're saying hey, you got a few words, they're usually going to give you an interview where they may not have given you one in a regular season setting. You know what I mean? Because they've got it all laid out there. They got the red carpet, they got the press row, So with that said,
a bit more relaxed in those.
They should be. They should be there to enjoy it. Baseball's hard enough. If you're going to the All-Star, you're naming the All-Star game and you're wearing it on you're wearing the stress on your face. That's difficult, right? Really quickly, let's talk about some of the bigger names that got left off. We talked about Juan Soto doing great this year. Trey Turner is a guy that is not on the All-Star game that a lot of people would argue should be. We talked about a little bit about Randy Arozarena. Did not get in. Julio Rodriguez did get in. That could have been a flop. It could have been a flip-flop. I think this guy's on the outside looking in, but he is having the best year of his career, Joe Adell. We talk about Joe Adell for the Angels a lot.
Yeah, that's what I thought would be the
Angels he is selection. Joe Adell. So Joe Adell's batting 248, 19 home runs. 3 stolen bases, 823 OPS, right? George Springer's batting 281, 16 home runs, 10 stolen bases, 886 OPS. So Springer's technically got better numbers than Joe Adell, and like I said, I love them both. What do you think about your guy Singa over there? ERA 1.47, 70 strikeouts.
He's currently injured, but that's kind of been his problem. It's like when he's on, and then he's so fragile that when he goes down, it's like an extended thing. For me, the biggest snub was the dude up in Boston, Narvaez. I thought he had a pretty good campaign behind the dish on the American League side, but he kind of ran into the Cal O'Reilly phenomenon this year. So
tough, right? Yeah. No, but you're right, Carlos Narvaez. Yep, there's some people there that should have got in, possibly that did not. All right, well, I can't wait. It'll be fun. Let's switch some gears before we get out of here. Before we do that, let's thank our sponsors one more time. That is the Players Alliance, Numbers Game Scorecards, Rebellion Harvest Sunflower Seeds, RBG Baseball, Minority Prospects. Shout out to them as well. Really, really excited about our partners. Make sure you support them. Use the access code for 2 of our products. The Black Baseball Mixtape Scorecards, Numbers Game Scorecards. You can use Black Baseball Mixtape or BBM as the access code. You get a wonderful exclusive BBM scorecard. It's fantastic. And then Rebellion Harvest Sunflower Seeds as well. Use the access code Black Baseball Mixtape or BBM for them.
I got a question real quick about scoring. Do you score your own games, or do you wait to see what the official response is on the screen and then be like, oh, I guess that was an error, and change it?
I score my own games.
Okay. Bad.
I score my own games, but I want to get it right. So there is some times where you have to change it, even if I'm not going to say if the official score of the game calls something a hit and I've originally scored it in an error, I will change it.
Okay. Hot take.
But I score the game as it happens. So, every once in a while, it takes a while before the decision is rendered, right?
Yeah. I have not got the number. I haven't got the number scorecards. I will, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh, absolutely. Well, say no more. Well, look, Flobo, you're a part of the team.
Yeah, I'm taking that for a swag bag, bro.
Look, I'll talk to our guy John over at Numbers Game. We'll make it happen for you.
BBM, that's an access code. Got it.
We'll look. Talk to me offline. We'll work something out. Before we get out of here, always an interesting time to hit the reset button, right? And the Nationals over the last 48 hours have decided to hit the reset button. They've decided to fire their manager, Davey Martinez. Not only that, and I applaud them for this in a sense, because usually the manager is the scapegoat of a situation, but they've actually not only fired Davey Martinez, they fired their general manager, Mike Rizzo, as well. Rizzo, comes with a lot of history with the club. So is Davey Martinez, but let's just call it like it is. The Nats are sitting at 37-53. They're 16 games back. This year is basically now a wash for them. And it was going to be a wash. There wasn't a situation where I think the Nats were going into this season saying, we're going to make the playoffs. But I do think they were going into this season saying, we've got a lot of really talented young players that we're going to put on the field. And if they perform the way we think they can perform, we're going to have look like a competitive team that's made steps forward. Certain players have made steps forward. We talked about James Wood. CJ Abrams is not playing poorly in that sense overall. There's some ups and downs there. But I do think that they're looking at this situation and saying, man, we're not as good. Mackenzie Gore made the All-Star team. But we're not as good as we should have been. Oh, man, speaking of that, we didn't go over the National League pitchers, did we? Mackenzie Gore was one of them. We did? Okay.
Yeah, we talked about Chris Sale and
Okay. But they've made this decision. They've hit the reset button, and they're doing this, like I said, going into All-Star Weekend, which goes into the NBA draft. The Nationals have the number 1 overall pick again. So they can select number one overall. I think the last time they did it was at Strasbourg. That worked out pretty well. Overall. Um, but what do you guys think? What do you guys make of what's happening in Washington? We talk a lot about the Black Nats. The Black Nats are, they're in some ways they're still there. C.J. Abrams, James Wood, Josh Bell, Dalen Lyle now is up. So I mean, what do we make of this?
I feel like after that press conference a few weeks ago, the writing was on the wall that something had to happen.
This is the Davey Martinez press conference where it said it
Yes.
wasn't the coach's fault that the team isn't playing well. The coaches work hard.
Right.
Okay.
And for me, I will say, like, as a fan, it was kind of like, bruh, that's kind of an in-house conversation. That's not something you say in a professional space, because even if you felt that way, now you let the public know that you feel a way about your players, and that just, I don't know how you come back from something like that. So yes, some players probably felt accountable in hearing that maybe I should perform better, but there's also a way to be able to communicate with people. And I feel like that just, you saw they didn't get better after that. They continued on the decline. And for me, that was just the beginning of the end. And I think I even mentioned that I don't know how long this is going to last, because that's just not a way for you to be able to handle a situation like that. I was shocked that the GM went along with Davey, and I'm just interested in exactly the direction that they are going to go now, especially with them having the number one overall pick. They obviously have talent, but how do you move forward with that kind of team?
Yeah, now I tweeted about this morning. If Cade Anderson is that pick, the number one overall pick, lefty from LSU, performed extremely well all season, and including the College World Series. I think that's a pick that I get really excited about. They'd be loading up on LSU Tigers, right? They already have Dylan Cruz in the fold there as well. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: youth and development takes time. I think that there's a developmental struggle overall in the game of baseball. It's really, really, like, the way that baseball works now, it's really, really hard for you to kind of get so much better, especially in season. That's one of the things that's so amazing, I think, about what, like, kind of James Wood is doing. James Wood is a guy that is consistently getting better. But it's hard. Like with Dylan Cruz and who's the center fielder out there, Jacob Young. They've got young players that it's like, are they getting better? And they've got tons of, they've got a lot of draft capital. One of the guys that we're thinking of fairly or unfairly that I often think about is Elijah Green. Elijah Green's in that national system, and he went from the fifth. I think he was the fifth overall pick like 3 years ago, right? And he just got demoted again to like rookie ball.
Right.
Like he's in rookie ball again. And now and again, first round draft picks, those guys with that high of a signing bonus and that high of a pick, he's gonna have a long leash. But now you're looking at players, a ton of players. Christian Moore was drafted for the Angels last year. He was in Omaha last year. He's debuting, right? There's a debut this year in Major League Baseball. You talked about Dylan Cruz and Paul Skeens. These top round picks, they're not taking very long to get to AAA and get to the major leagues in this day and age. And so you got to get the selections right. But not only do you have to get the selections right, you're virtually throwing really young, undeveloped players out there. And the expectation, Flobo, for the Nats to be this much better, fairly or unfairly, it's just, they're playing against really good Major League Baseball teams, and it just hasn't seemed to be working out.
Yeah, that's one of the problems with the NL West, right? A lot of the pecking order is pretty much firm compared to other divisions, like the Braves and Phillies are on top. You kind of you're hoping to be in the middle with the Mets, and then at the bottom the Marlins. And so the expectation, I think they're projected at fourth, and they're at 5th now. I mean, the Marlins are 3rd in the division, which is something no one saw coming. I get having to do the change. I really do. The timing of it is all wrong. It's not after the All-Star break. It's not after Martinez made those statements. It's the week before the All-Star break. And I wonder, okay, yeah, the season's a wash, but what are you expecting the end of the season is going to be? I mean, before the White Sox hired Will Venable, I forget his name, but dude that was the interim coach, the brother, not brother, but homeboy was there before. It was almost like, yeah, dead man walking. Here, have the White Sox for a couple of months as we figure something out. And so I understand the Nationals and the Federal District, they want to have a team that's solid, but you can't keep doing this. Something has to change beyond 2 or 3 coaches. It has to be a cultural thing. I'm not sure if you bring in someone from the outside to be a people coach or office of diversity of people. You know what I'm saying? Those like what do you call those things? Like those morale booster situations, or what? Otherwise, you're going to have this repeating over and over again.
Well, shout out to our guy Jake Mintz over at Yahoo Sports. I give him a shout out because he also said, "Hey, look, if you're going to make the change, you don't fire your GM after the draft, right? You got to fire him before the draft to have whoever comes in. The idea is they kind of know the scouting department and whoever kind of know who they're going to want to go with anyway. So you might as well not be like, okay, Rizzo, you get the number 1 overall pick. Now we're going to can you, right? So just like start, like rip the Band-Aid off, start anew. Here's the thing. I'm not sure if any major league manager, right, with this current national situation that's currently constructed is going to be the solve, right? I don't know if it's a morale boost solve because you still got to develop these young players into really talented major league players. So James Wood, Dylan Cruz, Jacob Young, these guys, like, they've got to get better, if you will. Like, as currently constructed, you put that team out there, they're just not good enough to win against the Mets and the Phillies, and now the Marlins and the Braves. They're just like, they've got to have more talent, right?
I'm with you, but I think the new gold standard was the 2022 Cleveland Guardians. It was kind of like, well, we have some young parts. We're going to kick our coverage. I think showing those flashes of brilliance enough to get more investors in and more stakeholders in. But yeah, you're right. The talent you have there isn't a complete non-starter. These are not like a rookie league team that got promoted. These guys can rake in field. Just that they always supposed to be going directions. Last season, remember that when some of the players went out late last night? It was like the culture is broken in Washington. I think there's always been a problem beyond the.
I think my question is, I understand what you're saying, but are they a major league team? Are they I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
but they're not. They've got spots of talent, right?
Sure.
But are they a playoff competitive major league team that needs leadership? Or are they talented team that needs development?
There's no doubt in my mind that Washington needs parts. But the parity of the league, the parity of the league and the expanded playoff system says they can very much give themselves a shot come April or May. I had them 3rd in the division myself. 3rd. And in fact, they're not even in the conversation. They're 16 back at this point? I mean, it is kind of egregious. So, yes, I think they need parts, but also as constructed, they're not doing their potential as constructed.
So, 2024, last year, they were 71 wins, 91 losses, 24 games out of first in the NL East. 2023, they were 71 wins, 91 losses, 33 games back, right? Like, this has been a process that they've been building for a while. Oh, geez. I forgot about this. 2022, 56 wins, 107 losses. So they've been bad for a while. Like, and I'm assuming they've been stacking up assets. They've been, obviously they're getting a lot of new players in the draft pool, but this is, it's probably about time for them to do something.
Does that happen this season, or is this going to be a chain of window dressing for this season, next season, season after?
I think it depends on what team, like who they bring in as their GM and ultimately who they bring in as their manager. I think you try. What do they say, Flobo? What do they say, April? Let the kids play, right? So now you're gonna put the young guys on there It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
We're doing that now. We're letting the kids play now.
Right. But it's not going to be pretty.
And see what they have and then just go from there. I mean, they don't really have much else to do, but they got to start somewhere.
And again, it doesn't help that the Marlins, it doesn't help the Nationals that the Marlins are surprisingly sneaky good. And it doesn't help the Nationals that the Braves are surprisingly sneaky bad. Yeah. So now you've got the Mets, the Phillies, a Braves team that's sneaky underperforming but has talent. Right. And a Marlins team that's overperforming and a Nats team that's kind of floundering.
So I saw this this today. It had the worst records in sports since 2020. And they have the Colorado Rockies at 309 and 488 record. And the Washington Nationals were at number 2, and their record was 325 wins, 473 losses. And they were, of course, under 500. So that kind of gives you the story of where we are.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, we're coming up against time here. The Nationals are hitting the reset. We talked a lot about All-Star. We did not get a chance to talk about the Houston Astros that wind up
because I went to the one on Saturday and it was great because the Dodgers they lost that one too. It was great.
The Dodgers are 5-5 in their last 10 games. They're still 6.5 games up over both the Padres and the Giants. But one thing I would like to say, because again, hey, look, the Astros, all they do is just keep winning. They figure out ways to win. They figure out ways to come out on top of that division. They are, again, 55-35. There's 7 games ahead of the Mariners, 11 games ahead of the Rangers. All they do is keep winning. Shout out, I will say this too. Shout out to Jose Altuve.
Yes.
I put it in the Finish Your Breakfast this morning. All he did was catch hell for the last 4. I mean, they booed him unmercifully.
Rightfully so.
Oh, no.
I understand it. Say what you will. All Jose Altuve did after the game last night is come back out and sign autographs for a lengthy amount of time for Dodger fans. Dodger fans that just gave him heck the whole time. All he did was also hit 3 home runs against them, so he buried them. But it was a really nice scene and a really nice clip of Jose Altuve just signing a whole bunch of autographs for Dodger fans. And I was like, hey, look, that for everything that's happened over the last 4 games, him playing well, him getting booed unmercifully, I just thought it was a class act. I thought it was a classy thing to do.
I don't know why he got booed. I have no idea. I don't know why he got booed. I don't know. No, because I was at the game Saturday and Jose Altuve was doing his job and the entire stadium was booing him. So I turned to somebody and I said, "Why are you booing Jose Altuve?" It was like, "Oh, because of what happened 8 years ago." Because
God forgives, I don't.
But hold on. But when I say the 2020 championship don't count, y'all like, well, don't forget about it. It's in the past now. We got a new one now. But now you say
that's not what I said about 2020. What I said was, if it was so easy, why y'all teams ain't won it? That's what I said about 2020. Right. Now, in regards to Jose Altuve, like I said, God forgives. I don't.
8 years ago.
No, he gonna hear my mouth.
8 years ago, and the Astros are officially still champs, and y'all still booing the guy. Like he's already won.
There would have been nothing for somebody that goes to a lot of games, and I go to a lot of games with my son. My son lives for autographs. He loves them. And Major League is different, right? Major League is different. So to be able to, come out after the game and sign a bunch of autographs for fans that gave you hell. He could have easily got on the bus, got on the plane, and got the heck out of here. And he didn't. He stuck. I don't know how many other Astros did, but he came back out and signed a bunch, and they had it on video, and it was a really nice thing to do. He signed up for kids in Dodger jerseys and all kinds of stuff. And again, that stuff to me as a father goes a long way because these kids, a lot of the kids, just live for autographs. If Cam doesn't get an autograph from a player in a AA baseball game, he hates that player forever. He does. He's
Felt,
like,
Cam. Felt.
What's that?
I said felt, Cam.
Yeah, like if because again, if you're looking at the guy and you have your card there and you're like so and so, and he just looks at you and waves or something and he doesn't come over and sign, he's upset. I understand, but he gets upset, and I'm just like, for Altuve and others, there's a lot. We met the last podcast episode we had, the last player interview we had was Enrique Bradfield Jr. Comes out of Vanderbilt, really, really nice kid, and a phenomenal baseball player. He's going to play in the Futures game. Enrique Bradfield Jr. signed so many autographs in Richmond for while he was playing in Richmond for the Bay Sox. And it was just awesome. It was awesome to see those kids that he signed for. They were just smiling and holding up their baseballs or their cards or whatever they got. And again, I know that like there are card collectors in there, and there's the old guy that has like a book, like, and you show the book. And again, that would turn off. Like if I'm a player and I'm signing for a 50-year-old man with a book that has 9 cards on it, you know what I mean? That's kind of annoying. But if you see a 10-year-old kid or an 11-year-old kid sign, you know what I mean? You sign for the kid. I think that's so. Shout out to all the people that take time to do that, especially at the lower levels of the game, because that's really, really, you're not going to have the opportunity to do it when you get to, all-star game level all the time. So shout out to, bottom line is shout out to Jose Altuve.
Yeah, shout out to Jose Altuve.
I'm going to give Jose Altuve some love there.
Yeah, can I get a sign?
They will. I'll tell y'all this. If there are no more haters on this earth, the Lord has called me home because I'm living.
All right.
That was 8 years ago. It's old stuff. It's old stuff.
Well, everyone, we got to wrap it up here. Exciting, man. Exciting times. Really, really good times as we go into the All-Star break this week. A lot of action. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the first place Blue Jays. They're down 3.5 games up in the AL East. First place Tigers, first place Astros, first place Phillies, first place Cubs, first place Dodgers. We'll get back to all of that and all the things that are happening in the regular season next time. Again, thanks to our partners, all of our sponsors. Make sure you check out Numbers Game Scorecards, Rebellion Harvest, Red, Black, and Green Baseball, Minority Prospects, and the Players Alliance. Until next time, we're out.